Understand y'all in a hurry, so we'll just do a quickie. Frankly, I have to qualify my remarks by stating that I have not seen the administration's bill. I've only been told about it. I do understand that it is the intent of that legislation not necessarily to give more freedom to legal services attorneys, but to insulate the attorney-client relationship from outside interference. And certainly we would welcome that.
Why do you feel that there is an interference between your relationship with your clients at this time?
Generally, we see the kind of interference we see is in the form of political pressures being brought to bear on elected representatives such as Congressman Collins and Congressman Cabell when we file lawsuits on behalf of poor persons against governmental agencies such as the Department of Agriculture, Department of Labor, the local housing authority, the county welfare board. This often results in pressures being brought to bear to influence the course and scope of the litigation we get involved in.
Absolutely not. The American banks are safe. They're safer than any other bank. Money in American banks is perfectly safe under cover of this inflation. As I explained in my book, What Shall I Do with My Money? Product prices are being beaten down here in America. The consumer is beating business to its knees. Cash is worth a premium. Cash is worth a bargain. The only place where cash can't get bargains up to this point this year is the stock market. If I'm right in my expectations and the European to-do about the dollar today, I think guarantees that I'll be right sooner than even I expected. I hadn't really expected it till the summer. A break in stock prices will mean that those with cash will get bargains in stocks too.
Speaker Mutcher has agreed to move to concur in Senate amendments to the House tax bill tomorrow morning. I predict that the House will, by a majority vote, pass the tax bill. I think the major financial problems of the Texas legislature in 1971 are solved, and I think this is the major hurdle that has been cleared out of our way. I think we're going to get our work done. I don't think there's going to be a special session in Texas in 71.
You then think that redistricting can be handled during the next few weeks?
We've got 3 weeks to handle redistricting, and I'm very confident that the legislature can do this. We've already done a lot of preliminary work. We're going to start on congressional redistricting next week.
Now, I think the thing that stunned us most in the news today was to be brought face to face with the fact that the dollar is in trouble as a unit of currency, as a unit of exchange. Because in my life, most of that time of my life, the dollar has been the most stable monetary unit in the world, and the currencies of the rest of the world would look to the dollar as the most stable thing. But in discussing responsibility for this, I think we ought to remember the real root cause of why the dollar is in trouble. It's in trouble because we fought a war in Southeast Asia for 10 years. It's cost us about $125 billion. And Europe and Japan were smart enough to stay out of it. And they at the peak, Europe was never as rich in its history as it is now. Japan was never as rich in its history as it is now. The communists don't want to settle this war, in my opinion, because they see America pulling its currency down. The proud dollar's in trouble. We've sucked in over there, and we haven't had the will or the intelligence to get out.
This is a point of where I don't think you stop to think, except you know that you've got to act, and you're the only link of life that these people have if this is the case. So consequently, you proceed on into this situation governed by the fact of experience that you know how much you can go or how far you can go or what you can do before you're endangered.
Well, you went in the building not once but twice.
Yes, sir.
What did you think about when you went back in that second time? You knew how bad it was the first.
At that time, I was wondering if I could find the other person or if I could hold out that long.
But you did.
Luckily.
Would you do it again?
I'll do it at any time if the situation warrants it.
We have had to slow down a program for economic reasons, of course. Economic reasons that have pretty much affected the whole country. But Apollo 15 is going up in July on a much more sophisticated, much greater scientific return type of mission than Apollo 14 on a lunar flight, that is. And then Apollo 17 will follow in March, or 16 will follow in March, and 17 will follow in December. Then we've got programmed yet the Space Laboratory, Skylab, the orbiting laboratory, and should start flying in 73. And right now we're in the process of developing, because it takes 6, 8, 10 years to develop this sort of thing, but more of the ultimate type of booster spacecraft, the reusable booster, a reusable spacecraft called the shuttle. You know, creativeness, scientifically, artistically, in other ways, are generally fostered by wars. A war begins, Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, and the development of an airplane is normally 4 or 5 years. It's done in 1 year or 18 months. But the space program has been able, through the challenge that it presents to the American people, through the challenge it presents to the world, has been able to stimulate this creativeness, stimulate the imagination of people to progress ahead rapidly without the destruction of wars, without killing millions of people and destroying millions of cities. I think that's another aspect of the space program which people are beginning to appreciate more and more all the time.
Since the council has already voted according to the charter and elected Ted Holland as the mayor pro tem, what do you expect to accomplish Sunday?
totally been abolished by anyone, but
well, you'll find that out at the Sunday rally. The press will come there. We will let you continue to interview all persons there. You can get the rest of the program in its entirety.
I thought, Mr. Norman, I thought, could you answer that question?
Yes, my answer is basically the same as Don.
What is that?
Would you concur with that? That we would cut it off and then
We can't hear you on our.
Wait a minute.
Shut it off.
The question of what major tax increases you're going to have to pay over the next couple of years has been settled by the legislature here in Austin. The House today agreed to accept Senate changes in the bill that the House first passed a couple of months ago. That means that you'll have a higher sales tax, a higher automobile tax, a larger corporation franchise tax, plus additional levies on cigarettes, gasoline, and beer. The bill passed by a comfortable margin, but only after spirited arguments. After twisting arms, the House leadership was able to get enough votes changed so that they could have a 2/3 margin. That puts this tax bill into effect July 1st and means it will bring in the fully expected amount of $684 million. Had that not been done, they would have lost $55 million since the tax bill would not have begun until September 1st. Dallas and Tarrant County delegations voted heavily in favor of the tax bill. From Dallas, only Reed, Holmes, and Agnich voted against it. From Tarrant County, only Finney and Lewis were opposed. There will be other taxes considered during the next few weeks of this legislative session, but they'll be minor compared to this major tax bill that has been passed. This is Roger McDonald, Channel 8 News on the Move in Austin.
Jerry, caught you in the act of refreshing after a round of golf. No problem at all. And congratulations to you on what was a sensational round of it, Judge.
Thank you very much, Vern. I did play well, and I'm very happy happy to be where I'm at.
Well, you're in early. Would you expect the 66 will stand throughout the afternoon?
It's hard to say. You get the best in the world here, and they can shoot 64 or 5 any day of the week under any conditions. It's hard to say.
I know that anybody who shoots the round that you did cannot be too displeased with the golf course.
No, the golf course, nobody can be displeased with the golf course. It's a great golf course. Everyone likes to play here, and the greens are fantastic. They really are.
What was the best part of your game today, would you guess?
Well, Vern, really there wasn't a best part. I hit it well. I only missed 2 fairways. I only missed 1 green, and I didn't miss any real short putts, and shot 66.
But fortunately, I birdied the 17th and 18th to get out in just 1 over par, and then came back and made a couple birdies on the back 9 and ended up without too bad a round. And I hit the ball after the 5th hole. I hit the ball pretty well.
Well, you're now at 70. What position with 4 strokes behind the leader? How would you describe yourself in contention for the crown?
Well, I'm not concerned about the 4 strokes at this point. That really isn't much after the first round, and anything can happen. Certainly a 66 is a good round, and I'd like to have a couple little better rounds than I had today myself. But as far as the tournament is concerned, it's still early, and anything can happen.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
We, the Texas Welfare Rights Organization, voted in a statewide meeting on April 10, 1971 at Houston to oppose Proposition 3. The Texas People's Coalition has also bound itself to support our decision. This is a change of position for us.
You ladies are both AFDC recipients. Mrs. Washington, aren't you sort of cutting your own throat by asking for a no vote?
Not necessarily. I don't feel that I'm really cutting my throat, Jerry, because as the thing stands as is, and if Amendment 3 is passed, it's still going to be a cut. There's no ifs and ands as to, if there will or not. There will definitely be a cut.
Well, put this for me as simply as you can. Why do you want a no vote?
Well, Jerry, I want a no vote because Amendment 3 is not set up for what the Welfare Rights Organization really stands for. The Welfare Rights Organization, as you know, stands for bread and justice. Amendment 3 gives neither because it does not increase our grants. It does not offer any justice because it discriminates against the children. It sets them apart from all other categories and also the mothers on the FTC.
Well, now, when this no vote comes through, presuming that you win your effort to get a no vote, then a lot of people are going to be hungry. How do you justify that?
Well, a lot of people are already hungry. We are now only receiving 75%. I would rather see people hungry for a short while and have some type of relief coming, from then on, than to see people fall into the trap that Amendment 3 sets up.
What are the names for your 4 children?
Let's start with the boys. So many, I'm trying to think. We have Carrie and Curtis for the boys, and then we have Amy, and would you believe I forgot the other one?
You better get all these done. You're going to have 6 children to be taken care of pretty soon.
Amen. And Amber, that's it, Amber.
I tried a putter today that it's the type of putter that I used to putt with when I was putting real well, and I think this has got me back on the right track, and it's going to take me a little while to get on to it, but I did manage to hit some good solid putts today, and I made some.
Well, Vern, I tell you, 68 is a good start any place, especially today, because the wind's kind of starting to whip up a little bit out there this afternoon, and I was telling the pressmen in there in the press room, I think that this course is rated probably 71.5. It's not a 70 par. So a 68, you'd think that I'm 3.5 below par, and this course is par today. The way the wind is blowing, I would say is around 72. So in reality, I'm probably 4 under. So I'm very satisfied with that, Vern.
Lee, I know you were expressing to the news guys some problems that you had with your caddy and yardage being walked off.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody can make a mistake. I make a mistake, you know. Everybody has to make a mistake once in a while. But when you give a man the wrong yardage 3 holes in a row, it kind of upsets you a little bit, especially when it's your regular caddy and you've had him for 2.5 years. I don't think it'll happen again. The reason I don't want to let him get away with it. I want to chew him out and make him think that I'm upset, which I'm not, because without him I wouldn't be able to play. But I want to keep him on his toes. That's the main reason I jumped on him quite a bit out there today.
Well, I had a pretty good drive, Vern, up the left side, and I got a kind of a bad kick. It kicked a little bit left, and I had to play a shot, a low 6-iron into the green. I had a little bit of a tree problem, and I had a good shot, but I got sort of skipped right through the green. I guess you saw the ball run through, and I was over the green. There was kind of a little bear over the green, and a very different him sitting down over the crest. And it was quite a difficult chip, so I decided to putt it. And I played about 10 foot of break. It looked like I should have played about 15. Anyway, ball ran down about, I guess, 4.5, 5 feet, and of course I got that putt in for the par, which makes you feel pretty good, so you don't really lose one coming in the last hole. That can put you in the wrong frame of mind pretty fast.
Jack, on the whole, were you satisfied with the round you had today?
Yeah, anytime you start a tournament in the 60s on a golf course of this caliber, you've got to be happy with it.